Okay, right. This is my second recording for today, and I'm getting straight into it. Um, Hello. I've done a cloth simulation for my first episode, which doesn't really make sense because you need to know the fundamentals, like the basics of Blender first to even think about going into modifiers. But I thought it was a good start, and you get instant results, which are quite nice. But for this episode, I'm going to teach you. Let's do meshes and let's do extruding. Let's do everything. So, okay, right. So let's go to File, New, General, and we don't need to save that because I've already saved it. But as a general tip, we want to save things. So let's learn the first thing, and this is in object mode. Object mode lets you do all types of things, and it sort of gets you the rough thing that you want straight away, but it isn't intricate enough to just be a finished project or like product, sorry. So we have our primitives. Primitives are the basic things that you learn in like foundation stage or kindergarten. I don't know. It's like the basic shape. So you have a plane, which is just like a square. You have a cube, which was there. A circle, you know what a circle is. A sphere, another sphere. Cylinder, cone, and torus. Torus is essentially a donut. And then we're going to ignore that, and then this is just a base object. So you got your primitives, and you can do other things like curves and surface, but you don't really need to worry about that. What we've got right here is a cube. And if we press S on the keyboard, forgot to mention, this is Blender. You can see at the top left here. Blender's a free tool, which I thoroughly enjoy when I'm not losing at video games. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna teach you how to make a gear. So, like gears that you see in like a little those little cars where it like twists the gears and everything. But for now, I'm gonna teach you the basics of Blender 2.93 if you're curious, but you can do this on anything, I bet. So, if we press S on the keyboard, you see your cursor is turned into these two arrows, and you can see if I move my mouse closer to the object, it makes it smaller, and then further away, it makes it bigger, and you can go on forever. But if we press S and then 2, it makes it 2 times bigger. So if you look at this, you see the scale. Scale is, scale gets bigger or smaller, and 1 is the basic scale. So say if you have this massive object, but you want it to be smaller, you can rather go like this, drag down, and then go like times by 0.5 or 0.5, and then you get 0.5 of the object. But let's just make that 1 again. If you want to make it bigger, you just press S and then 2, and then you make it 2 times bigger, and then obviously the square cube law saying that it's cubed 4 times bigger, whatever. But you don't need to worry about that. So let's scale that for 0.5. Nope. Let's just start that from the beginning. So yeah, and you can do it individually. You can go like, you can enlarge it without worrying about the specific numbers, and if you press shift, you can fine tune it to make it just right. Say if I want it there, you can do that, or if you want. So that's scaling. So remember, that's S for scale. Now we've got rotate, And now rotate takes a while to get used to. Rotate, if you go like this, you can see it moving around, and you can see all these figures here changing massively, and you don't have to worry about that. So if you look at here, you've got the Z, which is going up. You've got X, which let's say is going right and left, sorry. So Z is going up and down, X is going right and left, and then Y is going forward and backwards. So that's 3D for you. That's 3D. If you rotate on the Z, so we've got rotate, and then we've got Z, which fixes it so it looks like he's turning around in a way, you know, turning around, and you can see the numbers changing on this figure right here. So that's rotating, that's X, and then that's Y. And these are all done by you clicking Z, X, and Y on the keyboard. So that's rotation. I think you know what rotating means in the real world, but that's that in computing. Now location is quite obvious. You see this little dot there? That's where the location is. And then if you move it 1 meter away on the X, X is on the, let's do it again, right and left. So if you move it 1 meter, you've moved it 1 meter, which is these dots here. So that's -1, -2, yeah. This is moving, and you can move that around. But as usual, let's put it to 0. Right. Cheers, OneDrive. That's cool and all, but there's still a cube. Oh. You don't want it to be a cube anymore. Well, what if you wanted to make it a rectangle? Let's press S. Okay, so it's still a cube. Let's press Z. Okay. So now you're getting a rectangle, and if you want that rectangle to be on the Y, you press Y, and if you want it to be on the X, you probably can't see it as well. Oh, I think my mum's calling me. You can see it moving right there. Okay. Just give me a second, guys. I think I got dinner. Okay. That was a very big dinner, and to be honest, I've completely forgot what I was doing, so I guess this will prove off of my muscle memory of what I'm meant to do. Okay. Oh, so I've not even so I've covered scale. I've covered what kind of scale that you can do. So Z, X, and Y. Yeah. So that's object mode. I've sort of shown you everything. What else? For location, if you want to move it, what you could do is press G, and G will move it around, and you can see the numbers changing quite a bit. Like, I can try and get it really close in the middle, but I probably won't. And maybe if I just find, but what I can also do is press. So say if I was to go to scale, but I want it to go to the X coordinates and the Y coordinates, but I don't want it to go higher, so the Z coordinates, I'd press Shift and then Z, so that means everything but the Z, and then you can see that it's not changing the scale of the Z, but it is changing the scale of the X and Y. Then if you press Shift Y, you can see it's changing that. And then if you click Shift X, it's changing everything but the X. And you can see that all changing right over here. So Shift and then Shift Z. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. Right, now I've covered that. A little small drink break. We are going to go to edit mode. edit mode. How do you get into edit mode? You press tab. Right, tab. What does tab do? Tab, in a way, yes, you can click this and then you can press G to grab. Now this is doing all sorts of stuff, and you can do anything with this sort of, well, you can't do anything, but let's cover the basics. Right, if you got a face, or maybe even just an edge, and you press Control and then B, it almost looks like it's cutting into the thing, but that's not actually what it's doing. It's making a curve along that edge. So if I was to get this face and then press Control B, you can see that even though it's getting some artifacts, if you press C, so C on the keyboard, it will stop it from going any further, if that makes any sense. So you can see it's doing that and going back to C, so it's like that. Now that's all cool, but what can you do with this? Well, if you get your scroll wheel whilst in this selection method and you go down, it's not going to do anything, but if you press up, it's going to add more and more geometry, and if you go any further then you're sort of getting it a bit too much. But if I go back to this side, let's get it from a nice angle, Control B, you can get, if I shade smooth it, and then I'll teach this at a later date, but I'm just going to auto smooth, you get this nice line here, and then everything else is a little bit crooked, but yeah. That's that. Okay. Okay, well, what if I want this cube to go up, but then I also want it to go right on the x-axis? Well, I can do two things. I'll do one now. I'll press E. E is where you extrude. If you go down, it looks a bit odd. If you go up, it will carry on. If you press Z, which I'm on now, if I didn't press Z, I would be on like this. So if I press Z, it will go up. And then how many meters do we want it to go up by? Well, let's try 1. No. So let's try that again. Z 2. Okay, that's nice. Let's do GZ 4. I just accidentally pressed 45. GZ 4. Bam. So now we've gone here. Okay. Well, now I want to go over here. Okay. Well, let's press E again. Let's press, well, it's going along the normal, which you don't need to know what that means now. But if I was to press X, it will do the exact same thing. Let's just do 2. Sorry, I mean GX minus 2, because we're going in the opposite direction. I don't really like that though. So let's go to this again, and let's press Control and then R. And if you go next to a vertices, you can see this little line, and if I get another angle, you can see it's going wrapping around the whole of this square. And then if we click it, you can go up or down, or if you just right click, it will go to the middle. So now if we press 3 again, click that, you can move it on the X, which looks a bit odd, and you can do your own little thing here. GX minus 2. You can do your own little thing, or if you want to extrude it, EX minus 2. And then if we rotate it on the X for 180, this is what you are. I'll lose it now. I'm joking. So yeah, with this you can do literally anything you want. So you can do it. Like I said, you can do anything you want. So that's all cool and out. But like I said, you can press Control B. and make it a nice smooth curve, and maybe you could press this as well. Would that mess it up? Oh, look at that. That's it's not very nice, but it does the trick, you know? That's all you really care about. What if we tried both then? Absolutely lovely. No. Anyways, let's leave that alone for now. Alright, that's all cool. Let's just delete. Let's delete everything. But now we want to make a gear. Oh, let me teach you one more thing. If you click on the face, remember, press not vertices, press 3 to go on the face, and then we click I. Think of it as going in itself, you know? So say if I wanted that, that's all cool, but if I press I, you can see this little line, and ignore these other lines that are cropping up. Just focus on the main thing. You can see this cool little thing, and then if I E, bam, you've got like a little thing, and you can do anything with that. But if you click I for inspect, or I don't know what it's called for this, but I makes it go inwards, and then press enter, or just click left click. You've got yourself a nice little thing, and you can do this for anything. But yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, busy. Now what? Now what do I do? What do I do? Okay. Let's add in a cylinder. And they said UV sphere then. Let's if you've got a numpad, click the period or full stop, whatever, and it will line it onto the thing. That's a cool little tip for you. Let's scale it on the Z so it keeps the X and Y to 0.5. So if you go into this little thing, you can see that the Z's at 0.5. Okay, that's cool. Now what do I do? Click that, and no, sorry, alt click that, and alt clicking will get everything except for the 2 circles. I guess you could select everything, then shift click that and that, but alt clicking does that. And then, okay, that's quite cool. But what does this do? This allows you to go to select, checker deselect, and then rather than individually clicking each one, you've got this nice little grid that will teach you everything. And then what could you do? Well, you can extrude. What does extrude do? It will make it go out. So if we want this to extrude, let's do that. Oh, so we're not making a gear, we're making it go in one direction, which yes looks quite cool, but it's not what we want. So let's do select, check deselect, and this is where we have to go in this scary place. But for this tutorial, I'll just teach it you now. You press F3. So the function keys at the top of your row, press F3, and then we want to do extrude. Remember that word, extrude, and then along normals. So extrude faces along normals. And what will that do? Make it go inwards, make it go outwards. And you can see right here, we're getting the basic shape for a gear. Now we could do some more stuff, but for now this is quite cool. If we go to 2, which is to collect the edges, let's get that. And we want to get the insides and the outs. And let's think, okay, what's this got in common with that? Well, it hasn't got the location, but it has got the right length. So if you go to that, select similar length, you'll see that it will select everything that's got the same length. So we get that, and we press Control B again, remember bevel, and then if we click C to get it so it clamps, and if we get it a little bit, we shade smooth it. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Let's go auto smooth. We've got this nice little gear looking thing where it's not looking perfectly straight. Now this is where problems might happen and when you've got to think about the order that you're doing. But right now, if you press I, remember I, click that, and then press delete. What do we want to delete? The faces, so F, or you can just click faces here. Yeah, okay. That's all cool and that. And now we've got to do the boring thing, and for the life of me, I can't figure out how to do this properly. I think if I alt click that and then alt click that, it will just do that, but then it will, this might be a mistake. Yeah, so if we do that, then it will just mess up the whole thing. So I think for now we'll have to do it the annoying way of doing this. You know, so if you press 7 on the numpad, you will get in this orthographic view, and you can move around where it's perfectly up. So if we just do that for everything. And then if we just keep doing this, then you can see that it's filling in. And I'll try and figure out a way to do that properly, but for now I'm just gonna pause it and then tell you when I've finished it. Alright, see you in a sec. And I'm back. That only took me a few minutes, but I was in silence, so I thought there's no point in showing you that. Just if I didn't tell you what it's doing, it's essentially getting this line here, and then this line all the way down here, which is perfectly above it. And the computer's saying, okay, well, we've got that vertice there, got that vertice there. If we fill, which is what F does, so I was highlighting them and clicking F to fill. And what that fill does is saying, okay, well, we've got these vertices there. Let's connect them up into a face, and then we've got a geometry here. Now, this isn't particularly very nice looking gear, but it is a functional one, and you could always change how far in the gear is, and you can do all of that. And maybe if I get this edge select and then that edge select over there and press Control B, will that mess it up? No. Okay, and then if we just do a slight, let's not get as much geometry, we do a slight curve, it will make it look a lot more nice, a lot more appealing, and less rough like that is. So remember, Control B, make it go in a bit like that. Lovely, that looks lovely. So I guess that's the basics of I guess in a way modeling is this thing, but if you just press tab, then you're in edit mode and you've got already got all of these things selected. So rather than going over to metal, you can just press tab, can't you? And you can do all types of stuff, but for now we're just going to focus on this. And for this last one, Okay, what you could do. Ooh, this would be a pain in the ass. No, I won't do that for now. I'm fairly sure if I just do you know what, we will do this for the later tutorial, so let's save it now. Blender tutorial gear. Let's make a new folder for it as well. Blender tutorial beginner. Well, intermediate. It's whatever you need to learn. Yeah, there you go. So that's how you make a curve. And in the next one, let's just Control S for sanity check. We'll carry on and show you the workspace of how to get this to look a little bit like a metal. Not all the way, but it means that you won't have to download something from the internet. You can do that all in-house, and it'll use less storage or memory or whatever you want. And you can change stuff around, which is more procedural, which I quite like because it means you've got more freedom to make it look the way you want it to look, rather than being stuck by looking at a piece of photo, if that makes sense. But for now, I'm going to call that the end. That's how to make a white gear. If you want to follow the next tutorial, we'll teach you how to make it metallic. Metallic is I can't give you a reference right now. I can't find any. I can't give a good example right now. But a metallic is something. I guess you could say these Marylands are metallic because it's reflective. It looks a little bit like a mirror. And then we'll teach you about roughness, which is where it messes with the lighting. But that's for the next tutorial. I just want to say thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and stick around for the next tutorial of shading. Alright, so bye.